Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. Another late stream, man. Another late one. I didn't expect to do this one, but I thought, you know what? We might as well air it out now before we sleep on it, and then we hear some madness in the morning. You know, the one's there. So here with me to discuss it, we got Traps in the building. Traps, what are you telling me, broski?
Yes, people, man. We're here again, another late one. Saeed, Saeed's requesting that. There's a lot of stuff going down we need to talk about. So we're here for it
Come
as per
on.
usual, man. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up everyone on the panel. Like, like the video, man. Like the video. Let's get the likes up, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. And big up to Adam, Professor. We catch him when we can. So this is a pleasure to bring him on, man. But Adam, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, bro. Thank you very much. And yeah, late streams is more my time here in North America, so it's
Yep.
easier a bit. So, but yeah, pleasure as always. But I think there is a lot to talk about, isn't there? So,
Yep. Absolutely. And obviously it suits it for also Staffy as well, who's in New Jersey right now. Staffy, how are you, my friend?
Good, bro. Good. People were saying Saeed was late watching the GTA 6 trailer. I don't know what's
I
going
haven't
on
watched
here.
it.
I just
I
got
haven't watched
home,
it
so I
yet.
didn't even know that the trailer dropped.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it after this, but see, this is how we're prioritizing United and the fan content, So if this doesn't deserve a like, then I don't know what will. But big up Saeed for the invite as usual. Big up to all the panelists. Traps my first time meeting you, so big up yourself, bro. And let's get this shit show started, Said. There's a lot to talk about.
Come on, come on. Rhino's in the building as well. Big up to you, Rhino. What are you saying?
Yeah, man, we're here talking more, sad United nonsense as always, But yeah, big up the panel, big up Adam, big up Traps and Staffy as always. Listen, man, let's just talk about this. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's get it out of the way, Let's see what's
Yeah, let's
going
get
on.
out of the way, man. Make sure you smash the like button on the video. There's nearly 500 of you already here. Make sure you like the video, ASAP, people. And yeah, listen, people, we've got some news regarding, first of all, Eric Ten Hag, dressing room revolt. We've also got details on Matic airing out some dirty laundry. You know what I'm saying to you? But for him, I don't know. Apparently, someone was saying to me that interview is 3 years old. But listen, we'll find out anyway. Now, Eric Ten Hag is facing dressing room revolt at Manchester United with several members of his squad said to be disillusioned. United sources have indicated several players are unhappy with current plight, with Ten Hag now facing a major battle to keep the majority squad on side. A few of his players believe that Eric Ten Hag is too set in his ways and too robotic. Quite a few players are also unhappy the way Jadon Sancho has been treated. Um, they also are talking about too much running. They don't know what they're running for. Ten Hag also about where they feel that the club's going wrong. We've spoken to him about the experience at other big clubs and how his main management could be better. But Ten Hag is not for the turning. He will do things his own way. And yeah, 50% of the dressing room has been lost under him, according to the reports. Traps, I'll start with you. Does this surprise you? Do you think the players are trying to do it to another manager? Where are you at? Because obviously it's a bit of a sticky one, man, in terms of, you know what I mean, which side do you sit on?
Do you know
But yeah,
what?
man,
Yeah. You know what?
player
Yeah.
power coming back.
You know what? Like we keep every so often we come up with this player power stuff. Ten Hag hasn't done himself no favors. As you know, I've already told you
Yeah,
how I feel about this brother, yeah, and what he does, yeah.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, what I'm seeing now, I'm not hearing this player power stuff and the players are throwing him under the bus. Get rid of him and get rid of these players. Take some of them with you, mate. Get them out as well now. Yeah, because because I don't understand that the results are not going well. They're saying 50% of the players, 50% of the players are his players that he signed. You know what I mean?
yep.
Like, so at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know what to think, but this could be Matic coming out with that. I think that's old anyway. I'm not too sure, but I think that's old. But I just think that, yeah, again, United are just there airing out their dirty laundry, and it all began with him and Sancho. Yeah. So now, anytime anything goes on, the dirty laundry gets aired out, and we don't know the truth. We don't know whether it's just stories from the press or just any to build up a bit of to build up a bit of a circus, or it's actually facts coming out of the club. So right now, it's that cool. Like I said the other day, Rashford's down tools. I feel like he has. So it wouldn't surprise me if the rest of them ain't following suit, because he's obviously got some kind of clout in there. And that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the whole time. People have gone on like just to say this one was this, like for instance Pogba and whoever else, and all these ones with a bad eggs. But it's looking like Rashford's becoming a bit of a bad egg, bro. I'll be honest. Like, you know what I mean, but I don't know, man. I don't know, but to be honest with you, it's clear out time, man. Ratcliffe's come in. He needs to acknowledge that. I said, you know what, half of these players, you need to just clear them out and get new ones in, and then obviously player power will disappear. But whatever. Right now, they've all got to go. Say, look at it, like they're not giving us nothing. None of them on all parts.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
100%. Like they all need to go. It's not just one player in that regard, but it's a familiar story. Don't get me wrong. Like when the manager's under pressure, this is what you hear about, innit? You know what I'm trying to say to you, but obviously we ran the less. I think we ran like so many kilometers on the Newcastle game. But I mean, Adam, wait, when you see this kind of situation now, and everybody says, right, get everyone play out before the manager. We know it's not possible to do that because you can't get rid of everyone. But I feel like the fan base are still not ready to get rid of certain players, though. Yeah. They're very hypocrites, you know, the fan base. Yeah. I find out the fan base are so hypocritical. But you know what? No, but that player can't go and that player can't go. What is it? You want players to go, or do you want your favourites not to go? What is it?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think you just hit it on the head there. Because if you observe people and you look at Twitter and everything that's been said, for example, people will say these players, they need to F off this, that, the other. And then they'll say, look at Donny van de Beek. What has he done? And it's going to be McTominay and Martial. And hold on. Fair enough. They all need to go. I agree. But it's not Donny van de Beek and McTominay, if we are being honest. Because those two need to go. But it's McTominay, Van de Beek, Martial. It's Bruno, Rashford, Aaron Bissaka, Luke Shaw, and Lindelof, Maguire, everybody, like the core, like this mediocrity core that's been there from Ole to now, it needs to go because it's not Casemiro, and I have my issues with him as a player, but as on the pitch for certain things that I criticize, not Casemiro himself. And like you said, it's very, very hypocritical, very, very much so, because people are just not being honest, because the players that tend to be a recurrent theme in all of these situations, people don't want to name them, but it's always the same players. And the thing is, they're not good. Like, what are you protecting? It's not as if like it's prime Eden Hazard 2015 and you're like, yeah, he's a bit of a problem, but he can play. Our players are shocking. Like almost every single one of them are dead. And the ones that are not dead are just, it's time for them to leave as well. So what are we defending here? What are we defending here, to be honest? Everyone needs to leave. The manager needs to pack their bags and move with them. Like everyone needs to go. It doesn't make any sense. It really, really, really doesn't make any sense. How would you defend these players and then say this? Nah, I'm not with it, man.
Big up to footballer success. Player power won't disappear until we fix wages. It's fine to sack Erik ten Hag, but these players must go with him. They can't win again and again. Listen, I hear you on that one, but at the same time, like I said to you, there's that kind of situation where, what if the next manager still likes the players that come in? You know what I mean? Again, we hope that the new football structure comes in and gets rid of these players, but these guys have been given wages. Rashford is the golden boy, man. Rashford is the golden boy, you know what I mean? So he's going to stay now for a couple of years because he's on a big contract now. So he ain't going to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying to you? So there is a lot of damage to be done. That's why in the short term, you have to get rid of the manager. You know what I'm trying to say? But listen, man, I do believe, though, that two things can be right. Like the players are a big problem, but I feel like the manager hasn't helped himself at all, man, with his tactics, with his, with his style of play. You know, with the things, and they have become disillusioned. You know what I mean? It's funny how they become disillusioned with 3-4 managers. That's also one. But you know, they have become disillusioned because they're thinking to themselves, yo, like this brother was meant to bring a certain brand of football, but we feel like we're playing Ollie football again.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean, bro?
they can't control the ball and they can't pass it. So who are they to criticize the manager's tactics? As much as I think Eric Ten Hag needs to go. I mean, these players, they are not the ones that should be calling him to go. Like, that's for us and for other people to decide. These players, they are just terrible. Like, if you ask me, I think the manager needs to go. But if you ask me, if I had to pick the manager or the players, I would pick the managers, even though I think they all need to go.
Say, don't you remember when I said to you what I would do? I would go down there and I say, listen, you want the manager gone? Fine, he's gone now. Who do you want for the interim? Get him in. Fine. Yeah. Oh, you want, I don't know, Ollie, for instance. You can have Ollie. Have him. And then new manager. Who do you want for the new manager? All right, we're gonna get this guy in. I don't know. Say for instance, we by a stroke of genius or stroke of luck, we get Ancelotti or someone like that in. Ancelotti comes back with the reports saying, okay, Rashford's doing the same shit he was doing 2023, 21, 18.
Someone needs to report
19.
back.
You gotta go, mate. You're gone. And then that's what you gotta start doing. Look, any of these players that have been doing the same shit that they've been doing from Mourinho days, Van Gaal days, all the way up, you gotta go, mate. Go and do that shit elsewhere. But here's the problem now. Because the club's not run properly, a player has a good season, yeah. Oh, let's give him a big contract. Let's like Ollie.
That's the problem.
Remember when Ollie had his?
He gave like 4 or 5 different guys different contracts. He gave Brandon Williams a contract after playing for about 3 months. He gave Smalling a contract. He gave, think it was Phil Jones, Maguire. Bro, he gave so many contracts to so many people, yeah. And these were all part of the issue. Big up to Nagy in the building. Like, they were all part of the issue. So when you actually deep it, yeah, like, every manager gets gassed by a little bit of form. And the fans do as well. People asked me today on the Big Six, they were saying to me, were you not happy when Rashford got a contract? I was happy, maybe the fact that a guy's getting that much money, and I'm never going to say to someone, yo, you can't get your money in it. But also, I was like, if you sold him tomorrow, I wouldn't be like, yo, like, I wouldn't be crying. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So everybody gets gassed too early. Luke Shaw's a prime example. And I know, Nagy, you're going to hate on it, but, bro, if we sold him tomorrow, like, you know, the fan base shouldn't be crying. But we've given him a new contract now, and now he's stuck with us. So if the next manager falls out with him or he becomes a disruption, he then is going to become a leak. So then he's part of the problem as well. If you're going to clear things out, you clear everyone out, not you just your favourites. And these have been part of problems from every manager. When you want to go to a new environment, sometimes you've got to get everything out before you start fresh again. If you don't do that, I'm sorry, man. It's not going to work out. Look at Aubameyang. Look at all the Arsenal guys. I only think from the Emery era, there's only, I think, still there. It's who's there from Emery era from Arsenal?
Saka, Martinelli, and Emil Smith-Rowe, which they're all academy products.
All academy products. So they came from the, you know, they were young when they came in. You get what I'm trying to say to you?
Basically, yeah.
So you see what I mean, though?
El Nene and that though. El Nene as well.
Yeah, El Nene, but he's shit.
El Nene, but come on, man. He's you know what I mean? He's a chilling, man. He's chilling, bro. El Nene's a guy that even I don't hate on. You know what was there, like. El Nene's a good guy, man.
Vibes, man. He's a vibes man, isn't it?
Big up to knowledge. He says Jose got sacked. Ollie K. Miller used his blueprint, got sacked. Eric Ten Hag uses Ollie's blueprint. Do you see the pattern here? We basically have the same managers as Jose stylistically. We haven't changed. Well, I think for me personally, I'm more disappointed in Ten Hag than I am with Ollie. I feel like Ten Hag has disappointed me more because I feel like he's lied on his CV. Because I feel like he's just not, you know, for me, he sold me a dream. And you know what? That's just my kind of opinion on it. Everybody has their own opinions and whatnot, but he's sold me a dream, you know, because he's obviously come in. And you know what? He's probably sold the players a dream. I don't want to give the players excuses, yeah, but they thought, what are we getting here? What's this? What's going on here, man? This is dead, man. Like, what I go on? Like, yo, man came for the prime kind of, you know what I mean, the prime chicken and that, bro. I'm going in, I'm getting the little meal deal and that. What's going on here, bro? Like, yo,
you're getting a raw,
I was going to Gout Hills and that.
You're getting a raw chicken.
You're getting a raw chicken. You know what I'm saying, bro? Bro, I'm telling you, man. But nah, let me bring in Nagy and obviously Staffy and Ryan. I'll jump in when you want to free to. But Nagy, are you obviously you're always talking about structure and all that, but do you think the players have a right to be revolting against the manager? Or
no, never.
Okay. 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 I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, no, never. Ridiculous. Like, at what point are we going to be player FC over any manager FC? It's the same when things
Yeah.
have to change. Yeah, nothing changes if nothing changes. That's facts in life. You can argue with a tree, you can argue with your nan, you can argue with your Marge, your brother, your sister. I don't care. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And if we're talking about solutions, then again, I predicted this point. There's going to be a sticky patch when it comes to it, where players will revolt against the manager. Why? Because they are consistently doing that. They've not changed that. That's their new culture. Every single manager, same bullshit. It's next season, next season. And we as fans are falling stupid to it because we're looking at surface level again, going, yeah, it's got to be manager. And then we get on our feelings because we're not getting the results, and it is what it is. And then we go off and start spouting a load of nonsense. If you stay critically thinking, the same shit is happening over and over and over again with every single manager. These players throw managers under the bus, and they get away with it because they're on entitlement contracts, crazy mad contracts. They're getting renewals, like you've just been saying. Respectfully, they're getting renewals. Then they're looking at a situation going, well, if I want to down tools, I know again, I've said this on the Mandem Talk, bro. They know they are outlasting any manager. So why would they feel accountable? At what point? And you know what's mad? The next manager's going to come in, have to then take Onana, Mason Mount, Anthony, Martinez, Casemiro, and go, I probably don't want these guys. They ain't going to get rid of them. Then you're forced to use the same team with the same mentality. You cannot coach desire. You cannot coach work rate. You cannot coach a mentality. You can't coach these things. You can ask them, but you can't. And if you don't have them as your foundation,
that's the question, though.
And I'll even drop you this one. You remember when we first bought Malacia, Martinez? All the what was the criticism before? Everyone in the fan base said they've given up, they don't want to work hard. We bring Malacia back, we bring Anthony, they make the mad challenges against Arsenal. Everyone in the stadium, gassed because the basics were left. We're back there again. And you guys have missed the whole playing field.
No, but the thing is, though, can I say, though, Ten Hag is also enabling this sort of behavior as well in terms of
he has to
bringing the guys who have failed.
Saeed, yeah?
I mean, you don't have to. No, hold on. You don't have to.
Okay, well, I'm going to explain why I think it has to. You probably don't have to agree. That's cool. I'm not going to say something for you to agree or disagree because I'm not here to validate your opinions and vice versa. I'm just going to lay out how I see it. Yeah? At some point, you have to upset the cart. At some point, that has to happen. There has to be friction. Because like I said, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if my man goes and be a wet lettuce and doesn't stand on his principles, then they're going to continue to do this and get away with it, and he's going to lose his job anyway. Any manager that comes in here has to put his foot down at some point to go, these are the standards, these are the board lines. You either go with it or you don't. And if you don't, you shoot, you're gone. Now, the sad thing about that is, and again, going back down to the structure and the director of football and the people around doing the business, they aren't sitting there going, you know what? The football's deteriorating. Their mentality ain't good enough. We'll look to ship. They're not working with any manager to go and get rid of these players. They're looking at going, well, we can't get rid of my man because we give him a contract. Can't get rid of my man because he's on 300k a week. That's not a manager's fault. So now he's in a predicament. And again, forget Ten Hag's name. Any manager will be in the same predicament where it's a case of, I can't get rid of this man, even though I think he's toxic. Then you go look at Arsenal. When they started to change their shit as a board, got rid of Aubameyang, had to take a loss. Got rid of Lacazette, took a loss. You have to do that. Harry Kane, again, it wasn't toxic, but they relied on a certain man. They took the win and gone, you know what? Let's go recoup the money. Let's put some emphasis on our team and our players doing their thing. You have to have that in there. So no matter what manager you bring in, they're going to have the same issues. And if they have the same issues, I'm not going to sit here bashing on about manager this. I will hold a manager accountable, Saeed, yeah? When it comes to the tactical decisions that we've seen, when it comes to starting Bruno on the right, when it comes to start leaving Regular on the bench and putting Lindelof left back. Those are conversations I can entertain because those are things he can control. But things that he cannot control, I'm not going to stick on a manager because we don't rate a manager. I think it's lazy, I think it's tired, and I think it's a disservice to the actual club. And actually, it enables the Glazers to continue their fuckery. It enables the people on the board, when we're not talking about these things, it enables them because we're not giving them blame or accountability. And I'm sick of doing it.
Before I challenge you on the point here, let me just get these super chats here. Don F says it ain't that complicated. Manager is an employee, and so are the players. They can all get sacked. No time for emotions. If we don't beat Chelsea, Liverpool, sack him. And also Mika says Worst thing is your 3 worst rivals are in a free-away title. City Liverpool clean up again by winning all the trophies available again this season. The point here, this one here is for me, is facts, man. Listen, 2 things can be true, man. And you know the point there, I wanna kind of almost as well challenge you on is that it doesn't have to be a case of, it has to happen. No, if these guys are not part of your philosophy, and you can clearly see they were never part of his philosophy, but now you're enabling it, you get everything you deserve. I'm sorry, you get everything you deserve because you
What
brought
do you mean,
guys
sorry?
in. No, because if you're playing Maguire and you're playing McTominay and you're playing these guys that are up front and you're playing the same people like Rashford up front as well, yeah, that are not in form and a detriment to
Well,
your style of play as
Maguire's
well.
in form, respectfully. You know I don't rate him. Maguire's in form. I'm being
No,
objective.
but the thing is,
He's
though,
in
you have a
form.
ceiling point. You have a ceiling point. You know Varane is a better player. You know in
Yeah,
your
but
head Varane is a better
okay.
player. He's been stubborn
But
because he fell
then
out with Varane.
then why are we
Yeah?
talking about we've got players who are in form, yeah, who you rate. Yes, they could be stylistically
You have to use
better,
form
but if you lose your
loosely, man.
position
There's
to
context
someone,
behind that. Maguire lose form. We have to use form loosely because it's against teams like
it
flipping
doesn't
Fulham.
matter who you're
Come
playing.
on, man.
Okay, if Varane plays against these
Oh
same
my
teams,
god.
Saeed, if Varane plays against these same teams and has a
No,
good
I'm
game,
not.
are
Wallahi,
you
I'm
sitting
telling
here
you right
going,
now, I'm not
"Oh,
celebrating
are
that.
you sitting,
do you wanna
no,
Wallahi,
question.
I'm not. Because I know the
do you
standards
wanna-
of him. I know the standards of Varane.
But it
I know.
doesn't
You're only
matter.
saying that because you know
It's
the
about
standards
the
of Maguire.
team.
You're
do you
using
wanna know
I
something?
I
Oh my
don't rate
God.
Maguire, bro. I went viral for cussing Maguire differently. And I'm sitting
Yeah,
here
I know
telling
that.
you, exactly. I'm just sitting here telling you, is that same guy that if a man's in form, you have to play him whether I rate him or not.
Yeah,
This is about Man United,
I-
not
I-
about playing
one second,
FC.
guys. You guys are talking about little stuff right here. I don't care. No, first of all,
It's
no offense. I
surface.
don't care
It is.
about Maguire being in form right now because we're talking about little things right now. I don't want to talk about Maguire being in form. Let's talk about how we got to this point of us even talking about Maguire being in form, okay? Because Maguire was supposed to be gone in the summer.
Correct.
Now, I understand what Najee's saying. If he's playing good, he's playing good. We shouldn't really be talking about him. He's the least of my worries right now. Let's talk about how we even got here, okay? How did we get here? We got here by you keeping. I understand we couldn't sell these players that he didn't want in the summer, and it's not really his fault. But like Najee said, Arsenal were in the same boat where there was players that the manager didn't want and they were on big contracts. They took losses. They didn't sell Ozil. They didn't sell Aubameyang. They terminated their contracts, didn't make any money on them, and they got rid of them. You know why? Because they were aligned with what the manager wants. Now, once again, surprised, our owners and our board are not aligned with what the manager wants. Are we going to blame the manager for that? No. One second.
It's facts. The evidence is there.
It is. We just got to admit that we never have a manager and the board in that are synced. Okay. And by the way, this is not an excuse for Ten Hag. Okay. I'll get to that part. I'll get to that part. I'll blame him for the things that I could easily blame him for. What I could blame him for, though, is that he was technically forced to keep these players and he ended up using them. You know, when you wanted to get McDonald's on the way home and your mom said there's food at home, so you ate food at home. That's what happened with Ten Hag and the players. He said, I want players from another. He said, I want Todibo. He said, you got Todibo at home. He said, I wanted a midfielder. He said, you got McTominay at home. That's what happened with him. And he gave in. So that's his fault. If he persisted with the players that he only wants in the squad and the players that he didn't want, no offense, I've seen Louis van Gaal freeze out Victor Valdez, who was a legend of the game. I've seen Jose Mourinho freeze out Bastian Schweinsteiger, who's a legend of the game. And then this guy is forced to play McTominay and Maguire. Granted, Maguire got in form. I don't care about that. But here's the thing. You are now benching the player. One second. Let me just finish. You are now, when I see on the bench the likes of Amrabat, who you chased all summer, Anthony, who you signed as soon as you walked in, Mount before he got injured, as much as they didn't want him, he signed them, he persisted with them, and he spent 60 million on him, and he was benching him. And you have the likes of Varane, who you came out last season and spoke very highly of, and you said basically that he's your most important center back in terms of leadership and all that stuff. Yeah. And now you're benching all these guys that you trusted last season for guys that you wanted to sell. I have no choice but to look at that and be like, you know what? This guy is confused because 1 minute you didn't rate me, the second minute you rate me. So do you rate me or not? If Shahid says, I don't rate Staffy, I'm not bringing him on my channel, and then he hits me up the next day, I might be like, this guy is confused. He said I don't bring value, but here I am. I'm starring on his channel. You can't be doing that. That's the same thing Ten Hag has done with these players. So when you're doing that and you're not even delivering good football, then who the hell am I going to blame? I got to look at you and be like, you know what? you have to hold a lot of the blame because you led us to this situation, not on your own, but you were a big part of it.
Staffy, can I add on to that quickly? Yeah.
But before you go, a couple of super chats I'm going to read. Knowledge says, man spent 450 M's and leaving them on the bench to rely on one he deemed out of his plans last season. What a blood clot waste, man. Stand on your principles. And then he comes to comment saying, big up to Knowledge says, Saeed, as a manager, if you don't have a set of style, how can you determine what is good or not if you're relying on individualism? A system exposes who can and cannot work in that. And that's the first thing he needed to do. That, you know what, that comment there is so spot on.
100%.
He never did that, and you know what he said?
Can we address,
I don't want to play
the fuckery before? Can we just get facts? Can we just use facts? Yeah,
400. He spent
managers don't spend money, big man. And the reason you keep talking about managers spending,
come on, man. You know,
I'm not. No,
Neji, man. Come on, man.
It's a glazer enabler. We are.
Alright, cool.
Just being lazy, just by being lazy, just by being lazy, saying stuff like that is a glazer enabler. You are enabling the board.
Glazer enabling.
Listen, because you think managers go, there's 250 million. It's dumb. There are people. No, I'm sorry, I'm not having it. My club is fucking shit, yeah?
One at a time, man.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys. One at a time, actually.
Hold up. There are things at this fucking club, yeah, that are not based on a manager's accountability. Let's stop putting people accountable for the fuckery that's going on in this whole club. Not everything is manager. The manager does not say spend 450, big man. That's the businessmen and the bankers behind going, I don't know how to spend this money. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with these contracts.
He never meant it literally, though. He never meant it literally. You know, he never meant it literally.
You know what he meant, bro?
No,
he's had 450.
It's a narrative. No, because you don't understand. No, you don't. What you man don't understand is, yeah.
No, we do understand, Neji.
Your words give you meaning. Your words have power, bro. I'm not even gassing to you.
He's gonna put players. He's gonna ask for players.
Yes, he asked for players.
Listen. He's gonna go for players that he's asked for, and it's amassed to 450 million. Yes, the 450 million.
Right, you go on next.
We shouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in.
They have given him 450 millions worth of players. They're
not worth 450. No, this is what I'm trying to say.
Well, they are, because that's what they paid. That's what they are.
On the manager.
Oh, bruv.
So why are we saying? Wait there.
It's not on the manager.
Okay, all right then. All right.
Hold on, listen.
Saeed, bring up the comment. Let me read.
All right, let me bring it back to the comment. One second. He said here, man spent 450 M's and leave him on the bench to rely on the man he deemed out of his plan last season. What a blood clot waste, man. Stand on your principles.
Watch this. No, bring it up. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna rewind it. Look how it sounds different now. Yeah. Watch this.
Yeah, but that's your narrative. Though.
No, it's not a narrative. I'm using the facts, bro. Because I know. Okay, if it's not a narrative, hold up, Traps, man. Hold up. No, it's facts. It's facts. If I know a manager's not the one spending, that is a fact. Yeah, it's not a narrative. It's not an angle. It's not a theory. It's a fact.
So what is it then?
If you don't like the fact, that's cool. Yeah. So when this man
400, listen, 450. Neji,
hold on, let me land the point, bro. Bring up the comment, please, Saeed. Yeah. Bring up the comment, please.
Yeah. The comment.
So my man said, man spent 450 and leaving them on the bench. So he is basically making Ten Hag accountable for spending money and leaving them on the bench. No. So he's making the system.
You see how that looks bad,
what it is by saying
no.
Go on, Traps. Let Traps go. Traps go.
Yeah, let me go after Traps quickly though.
I can reword it.
And then it will be.
And we all know it's the same thing. Yeah,
it's not the same thing.
Yes, it is. If I say to you,
man,
Neji, you've got to let him go. Neji, you can't just say something. Let him go.
I didn't even get to reword. I'll be honest. I didn't even get to reword the thing. But go on, Traps.
There's 450 million pounds worth of players that he's been spent at his request. The players that he's requested.
Not only his
request. If you forget the money, but regardless of what, them players, that money has been spent on them players to help him do his job. Yeah, it's not to hinder him. They only spent 450 million pounds to say, you know what, that's going to be harder for him to do his job. It's going to make him easier. Yeah, and as a result, these lot have regressed now. And at the end of the day, the players that he's requested, regardless, forget the money, they're on the bench now. For players that apparently you wanted out of the club. Here's another thing, players, it got backed in another way. Didn't want De Gea. Sung De Gea's praises till the cows come and kicked him out. And you agree with this as well, AG. So they've kicked him out now. They've backed him. They said to him, listen, you don't want him no more. See you later, De Gea. No testimonial. Goodbye. 47 million for another goalkeeper, That's his boy. Yeah, that's his boy.
100%.
That's his boy. So at the end of the day, right, don't ever go like, oh, it's the board, this is the board, that is the board. The board saw what he done last season, what he was doing last season, and thought, yes, we found a good manager. What do you want? Yeah, that's why things like
That's incorrect. Because
Of course
again,
it is.
that's
Because
massive. And I'll tell you why it's
yeah,
incorrect.
Rhino, I want to write. No, man,
I'll tell you why
before
it's
you go,
incorrect.
before you go.
If the board, if the board
All
had
right,
anything
then.
about him,
Where's
they
Kim Min
wouldn't be
Jae?
signing.
First signing, where's Kim Min Jae? Why did we not get Kim Min Jae?
Wait 1 second. All right, cool. You didn't get Kim Min Jae.
No, why
So
not?
what-
No, why didn't we? Why didn't we?
We don't know. We don't know.
No, we do
But
know the facts. That's what I'm trying to
but
say,
listen,
man.
listen,
Use the
wait,
facts that are
there's
there, bro.
There's no facts, bro. Because
Yes, there
all right,
is.
cool. All right, cool. So you
Wow.
didn't get Kim.
This is why I can't have debates with people, yeah. Because if you're gonna avoid facts,
bro.
what's the point in having a debate? It's a theory.
Can I? You know, Madam, before you finish, I want to let Rhino go. Then I'm going to get the super chats in.
Yeah,
Rhino,
go on, man.
you
Do
go.
think, Rhino, man.
Rhino.
Do you know
And
what
then I
it
want
is?
to get
Yeah,
Coffee and Adam's point as well, because we
it's
can't.
so
have a tick-tack.
interesting.
Yeah, let me.
It's so interesting because I've been on Neji's side for a minute in terms of let's keep the manager in. But the reason why I've kind of lost faith in Ten Hag finally is that I can understand all the circumstances as to why, you know, we can say he hasn't had, you know, we can look at both sides and there's a lot of things happening in the background, fair enough. But where I lose it is the consistency. If he could stick to his principles, yeah, like he did when he first came, then I'll be cool. I'll still be backing him. If he can stop playing players out of form, I'll back him. But Ten Hag has not been consistent. That's my problem. That's why I've lost faith. I watched the Newcastle game and I looked at Rashford on the right. I said, why is Rashford on? I don't rate Anthony anymore. I gave Anthony the longest faith. Play Anthony instead of Rashford. You feel me? It's little things like this. That's why I've now decided, you know what, Neji, I think I'll give up on Ten Hag. You feel me? So that's my problem. Why is he not consistent? Why can't he drop these players? When he doesn't rate them, put them on the bench. Play for the team. If you think Varane is better for the team, but you're falling out with him, play him for the team. Stop playing players because of your ego. Play them for let's win the game. If you see Kobe Mainoo's in the midfield by himself, why is he there? He's only 18, bro.
So to
you know,
Saeed's
it's
point,
those
then,
things.
Ryan,
It's those things, bro.
So to Saeed's point, then he's talking about Maguire playing because Varane's a better player, but Maguire's playing in form, and I don't rate him. So it can't be a case of only players that we dislike, even if they're better. Like, it has to be form based, and I agree with you. Like he has done with Maguire, like he has done with McTominay, he needs to do the same on the right wing. You can't be split here. And at the same time, you're talking about the right wing situation, right? What's the one biggest criticism that Rashford had the last game? Just as a side answer, was his work rate, yeah, off the ball. What have I been banging on about Anthony saying why he's so pivotal? And you man didn't want to give it the light today anyway, because you thought who cares about what he does off the ball? You man don't even know what you want. Let's be real. You don't even know what you want.
Say, by the way, can I just say, before I bring big up to knowledge again, the minute you rely on individuals, you set up yourself a failure. Once multiple individuals are out of form, exposes your team. Jose, Oli, and now Eric Ten Hag doing the same shit. That's a fact. And big up to Tok says, to hell with the players. If they are crying about Ten Hag and Sancho, they can get the hell out. I'm tired of entitled players. And knowledge says, Neji, respectfully, do not put words in my mouth. You know exactly what I mean. The amount of money being spent matters because it was spent poorly. Those were all
not on the manager.
Signings. Don't just try and blame me.
I'm going to respond to it. It's not on the
Guys,
money.
two things can be right at the same time. One second.
on.
Two things can be right at the same time. Neji is right when he talks about wasted money.
Yeah.
But Traps is also right because this is where I stand. I am talking about the players he brought in. I don't care if they cost 10 million or if they cost 100 million. He has had 3 transfer windows, 2 summers. And Said, I think you said it yesterday. It's been 18 months.
Yeah.
And you don't see any improvements in this project. And that is the biggest issue. I don't care about the numeric figure right now of how much he spent. Obviously, the bigger the number, the worse it is because it reflects on the whole club and the whole recruitment.
The club,
and we all just
money
look
reflects
silly.
on the club. That's the only thing. That's it.
Which is why I agree with you, Neji. But we're still debating, technicalities. I don't care if it's 100 million or if it's 400 million. It's still wasted money. It's still 18 months with no improvements. There's no way I don't know how many players he's bought, but I'm going to assume at least about 7 first teamers, okay? If most of them are not starting, and I'm seeing week in, week out, the only person that's starting in this team from your purchases is Onana, then I have to question what is going on here. Because the back line doesn't have the players that you signed.
Due to injury. That's a fact.
No, Neji, I agree with you, but there's enough players right now that he signed that have been sitting on the bench and throughout the season, which is why these questions are valid. I understand we've had a rough start because of the injuries.
Sorry to cut you, but whilst you're on that point, yeah, do you remember when we had the discussion and I spoke about profiles being so key to getting this consistency? You can't just have like a bunch of profiles and go, they're all your profiles. And this is why I said he's taken 3 steps back rather than 5 and trying to go 5 steps forward, rather than building on the first season. Because I predicted this. This is why I'm not shocked. This is why I'm not sitting here going, I can't see the style of play. I predicted this happening. That's why I'm not shocked.
But then there you go. He went for the profiles that he wants. It didn't work, and he's reverting to older players. That is the biggest issue.
That, Staffy, but what I'm trying to say to you is, right, there are a certain amount of players. So, for example, we can go off the list because he's brought it up. Anthony hasn't started most of the games this season, yeah? Average season last season, probably 6 out of 10 on the ball, 8 out of 10 off the ball. Cool. Casemiro was vital last season, as we've seen, but now he's not vital in this system the way he wants to play the season. Therefore, he's not the same Casemiro, sadly. Can't do that role. Lisandro Martinez, and as we know, Casemiro as well was meant to be the replacement for De Jong. So he's adapted. It's an adaptable signing, not a specific one for his profile. I'm just keeping it real. Lisandro Martinez, we know how massive he was for us at the back. We're missing that. We haven't got a profile that can replace that unless Luke Shaw comes back. Luke Shaw's been injured, so we haven't even been able to have that. Christian Eriksen, again, great on the ball. Off the ball gets bypassed. It's a sad one. He should have been a bench player in the first season. Ended up using him as a first team because he couldn't get any more players. Tyrone Malacia, injured, but not up to that standard, as we know. Happens. Onana, we already had that conversation. Mason Mount, been injured. When he's come back, he's not been amazing. Can't really do everything. So out of those signings, how many are genuinely out of them signings so vital and so key to the way, one, he wants to play, but two, being available in the way that he needs it? Nothing is consistent. So if none of that is consistent, why am I expecting consistency on the pitch, which is me repeating myself once again? It makes no sense.
Do you know what is Neji though? But Neji,
yeah, cool.
For me, you can find consistency in playing players that are going to work. Because if you see someone like Bruno not playing, put another midfielder. I'd rather see Hannibal. If I have to, I'd rather see players that are going to work hard and do the basics. So that's where my turning point is for me. I hear you though, but there's still other solutions though. I feel like replace these players.
I want to bring Adam back in here. I want to bring Adam back in. Before I do that, big up to Tariq. That's correct. Ten Hag has been all over the place. Big up to David Dean. Appreciate it, mate. He says, in as much as Ten Hag shares a bit of blame, the players are not good. Rashford, Martial, McTominay plays since Mourinho's time. They've been the consistent here and they're crap. Ten Hag's recruitment have been poor. And also knowledge says, Neji, you're a hypocrite. If we paid 100 million on Kim Min-jae and he flopped, you'd see the same excuse saying it's not Eric Ten Hag's fault.
100 million?
But it's the board. No, obviously he would have been released close, so he would have been around about 55, 60 million.
Yeah, so don't get the 100 M, so that's a flop already. What a waste of money that is. Don't send that in.
Flop, but if the board don't buy him, you slam them at the same time. And Tariq says not one CDM in the world can play that role. 316 from hell, absolutely.
Which is that's the discussion we should be having, bro. That's what we should be talking about. Says,
you guys talk style. Every style has hard work as an underlining. United have not heard that in years.
The basics.
It's not Ten Hag. Style is overrated without hard work. Let me bring Adam in. Adam, when you hear all of that stuff, how do you balance it out? Because obviously, you know what I mean? It's one of them. It's tricky because obviously I hear where Neji is coming from, but at the same time, you also are enabling that as well by doing certain things and your system as well. 316 McTominay is not come on, man. You brought Amrabat in to do what?
See them things there, Said. I can't even knock. I know it's Adam's turn. I'm just saying I can't even knock them things. Those are conversations I can entertain, but certain things I just won't entertain.
Okay, but yeah, Adam, I want you to see what your point was on that one.
Yeah. I hear where you're coming from, Neji, but I think you're being too lenient with the manager, to be honest. Like, because if it's like when you could apply this for yourself. Like when you try to do things and go places, you put expectations on yourself and you try to find the least possible excuses. And this is the same thing. It's always easy to find a good, valid excuse to justify something not working. You can always find something. So I hear what you're saying, and many of the points you're making are very good and very valid. But at other points, I'm thinking it's just too soft. Because now we have a situation with Eric Ten Hag where if he spends 18.5 million on Anthony, Anthony flops, people will criticize the club for not having a structure to pick someone else instead of Anthony. And that is not the manager's fault, it becomes the club's fault. And then what I'm trying to say is people will criticize the club for not picking the players the manager wants and for picking the players the manager wants. Because if Eric Ten Hag
I get what you mean.
If Eric Ten Hag didn't get Anthony in his first season, and I would be one of those, would be absolutely having a go at the club, saying the manager is asking for this player, and this is your duty to deliver the first player he wants, because this is how we should go forward. And now we have the situation where, well, no, you can't put Anthony's situation on Ten Hag, because if we had a proper club, they would have given him another option for less than that money that would have been more suited. So now you have a situation where he just cannot be faulted at all. And look,
not necessarily, but I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And this is, many people just don't like to face the facts, because look, I was a big fan of Ten Hag and I backed him, but there are things that are coming to evidence at the moment. I said, look, I can't back this. This is shocking.
That's exactly where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at.
Here's the thing, Adam. Yeah, in response to what you're saying,
sackable.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I've got no issue. I'll have me and you've had some incredible debates actually. So can I have this conversation with you? Yeah, and we've not always seen eye to eye, but we've done it in a very deep and how can I put it, respectful way. So I've always respected that. Yeah. So I know when I say this to you, I know you'll 100% understand. Yeah, facts. There are certain things that will be accountable for a manager, and it'll only be on him, right? And I'm here for that conversation. There are certain things that are based on the manager and other factors, or there are things that are not being based on the manager. However, what I'm seeing is everything is leading to a manager, or it's being worked around as it's a manager, because people are pissed off at the manager alone, because that's the easiest shot you can take. Now, for me personally, I'm saying level-headed. I've got no issue. Like I even said, I've got no issue if we got to get in the structure, Ten Hag goes. So I know everything I say is going to seem like and sound like you're Ten Hag in. That means you're just missing the point I'm making. Yeah. I am pro-manager, any manager over any player first and foremost. And I've always said, inside or back this traps as well, man them talk, 4 seasons minimum. And the reason I say that is not because I have faith within a manager. It's because I know that without structure, we can't get what we all want as a community. So I have to cut my losses somewhere. I have to cut them somewhere. I have to go.
You know what, by the way?
I have to sit through the 2 seconds, bro. I have to sit through the shit. Yeah. I have to sit through the shit and take some of the shit on in order to go and get the end goal, because I know there's no other way. And when I'm seeing consistent patterns happen with players and managers over the same span of time, and that's been more overlooked as a case of why are you playing Maguire, why are you playing this, that tells me that the Glazers are going to continue to do what they're doing and getting away with it. So we can't, I'm just saying, again, this is me. I'm not saying you should. I'm saying for me, I will continue to only make things accountable if it is specifically to that person alone. And most of the things, if you're being fair, are not just based on Ten Hag. There are other situations and factors that go into it that does require a bit of leniency, whether you like it or not. That's just me.
And the thing is, and I think everyone was backing Ten Hag when he first, and I don't think anyone was against him. Like, he was the first choice for many.
No, nobody was.
Nobody was. Now, but the thing is, now we have come to a point where even if we get a good structure, he took some decisions that would have me asking him to go. Because the thing with Erik Ten Hag is he seems to be rewarding and punishing players in a very inconsistent way, and that is a very
facts.
Disorder and toxicity.
It's man management. It's shocking, man.
I agree with that to some extent. I do.
We were talking about Harry Maguire being picked on form. I don't rate Maguire. I would sell him for a pack of gold.
Yeah, we both don't rate him still.
Yeah, exactly. And I said that many times. I would just take anyone ahead of Maguire. But he's been playing not so bad, to be honest. He's been performing one of our better performers. But then again, if he picks him on merit, he needs to drop others and pick others on merit.
Correct.
And he picks and chooses when to do that, which is the most infuriating.
That's my problem.
It's so frustrating with him when he says it with players and doesn't apply with others. Like, if we all sat here and we were at agreement that this manager, no matter what, he's going to play players on form only, we'd be like, you know what? Cool. My favorite player is not playing, but we respect it because it's consistent. Yeah. I see you saying, and I'm not the biggest Varane fan, by the way. I wanted him replaced in the summer. He says, oh, I'm playing him because of partnerships. Okay, so he's talking about tactics and what's best for the team. But then you have Rashford who's walking on the pitch, and you're not talking about partnerships there. You're not talking about form there. Yeah. If I'm Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who I'm not even a fan of, I'd be frustrated based on last game. Because last game, this guy was getting cooked by Newcastle. He got
That's what I'm saying.
He got no track back from his right winger. And if I'm Wan-Bissaka, I'm going at halftime, I'm like, yo, Gaffer, I'm getting eaten alive out there, and I'm not getting help. What's going on here?
What's going on? And look,
you know what's mad, big up to go on, Adam. Sorry.
Just Kobe Mino. We're talking about partnership and Varane and Maguire at the back. And Kobe Mino, for example, I think it's been weeks since he last saw McTominay and Bruno. Like, like, he's alone in that.
They're in a long distance relationship, bro.
Exactly. What is going on, man? It just.
You know what's mad, Big up to Jalapeno. Said, "Nah, Deji, you're 100% spot on. Thanks for talking sense. I'm tired of fickle fans that think success comes via shortcut." And knowledge says, "Say, why do you think managers like Jose can't win a UEFA Champions League or league title in this day and age? Individual brilliance football died. Look who wins the top 5 leagues. They all have a system. Eric Ten Hag doesn't. He would never win." You know what's mad? This is where I think for me, yeah. Big up Adam, no cap in your argument. Big up to knowledge, by the way. My thing is, yeah, and I go to you, Traps here. Can the manager win over the players now in terms of, when you've revealed all your cards? Do you think now the players will be like, yo, like we've seen what this guy's about now, like, I mean, you've been bluffing all your way long. Now, listen. Everybody wants, so everybody doesn't want to see player power. I don't think anybody here wants to see it, especially how many times they've been doing it for managers. But I'm talking about now in the context of the players out here right now. How does it work for Ten Hag? Because now it feels like players are just not seeing what he's doing and they feel like favoritism. I don't know if I've ever seen, listen, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had his favorites here, but I've never seen it to the scale of Ten Hag, like genuinely. And it's just rippled through the squad. Listen, I don't know if you've seen it, but apparently there's a player doing an interview on a channel we won't mention yet on Wednesday. I don't know what he's going to say, yeah? But you got to realize there's going to be some stuff that's going to be said on there. You're going to be hearing things on the press today. There was leaks today about players coming out. There's going to be players in the squad that are leaking stuff out. You got to realize that, Traps, yeah? So how does it change for the manager? They're not going to shut up. As much as we want them to shut up, they're not. They're not going to. They are protesting against the manager because they believe his plans are not working. It's just a natural thing.
I think, I mean, I do understand what's been said with the whole terms of the Neji pro manager, which is fair enough, and it should be that way. But at the end of the day, like everyone says, if the manager does certain things, these are human beings at the end of the day. If a manager does something to somebody and they don't agree with it, it's the same way if someone does something to a flipping cat on the internet, everyone's wants him cancelled. It's the same way. It's the same way in an environment that's a bit smaller. So at the end of the day, if he does something wrong, like i.e. calling the player out, but then not calling the player out, but letting the player play how he wants to play, but dropping the player for not playing the way he wants him to play, at the end of the day, that breeds disillusion. And at the end of the day, when it gets to this kind of situation where things are going to start coming out and it's done from there. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to win the play. The only way, like I said, the only way it can happen is if the board have said to him, listen, we know about these lot, yeah? So in the summer, there's going to be a mad exodus and you're going to get money and you're going to be able to go and build what you need to go and build. That's the only way. But don't get it twisted. Like, I'm not saying I'm on the manager's side or the player's side. I think I've had enough of all of them. I've had enough of it. It's been going on for years. This is like a soap opera. Same shit. Same kind of storylines. It's long. It's for now. It's time to just cut your loss. Because what Ten Hag failed to do as a manager is, at the end of the day, he's seen what's going on at Man United prior to him. Moyes, Jose, Van Gaal, whoever else. He's seen that. So at the end of the day, he should be doing the best he can do to highlight what these players are getting up to. So at the end of the day, if we as fans could turn around and say, you know what, yeah, this man's sticking to his principles, and fucking Rashford ain't doing this, and this one ain't doing that. The same thing that he done last time. Same thing that they done last time. So we know right now we don't know who's doing what, who's as bad as each other. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's going on because there's no clarity, there's no consistency, and there's no clarity whatsoever. And he's not doing the best he can to show people, like, you know what, I'm gonna try and do this. All right, it's not working. I've changed the system. All right, cool. I brought this player in. All right, I've took this player out. He's not playing well. He's done none of that. He's just basically said this team is resilient. Yeah. This team is, and just starting a load of shit on press conferences, talking about we could have scored goals in that. And what,
bro, he's deluded, bro. He's actually deluded, bro.
It's not early, man. It's not right in the head.
He's
under pressure. You know what's bad, yeah? He's under pressure, yeah. Big up to Tariq says you don't want to be in that one in the 3-1-6 you're getting cooked. And that's why I said to people, it's not Casemiro's fault. Hello? It's not Casemiro's fault. Everybody now is not blaming Casemiro anymore. They're now blaming Amrabat, and they're now blessing the kid. Kobe Minos have to do a lot. Let me ask you a question though, yeah? Can we just say that sometimes a manager, this is maybe too big of a job for a manager as well. Like he's now now realize, yo, listen, this is too much for me, and you know
He's
what,
out
I
of his
can't
depth.
handle.
Yes,
big-
yes,
Yeah.
he's out of his depth.
Yeah.
It's very obvious, bro. He tried every player in the squad so far. He's done everything. He has Varane on the bench, and he put in Luke Shaw in left center back. And the game before, he put him in left back, and then he put Lindelof there. He played Maguire when he wasn't playing him last season. On the right side, he used Bissaka, and he used what's his name, Delo. He even played Lindelof at some point in left back, him and Emrabat. He's used the midfield of Eriksen the 6. He used Casemiro in the 6. He used Emrabat in the 6. He used Mainu in the 6. He's used Mount. He's used everyone. He's used Rashford on the left. He's used Rashford up front, and he used him on the right. He put Bruno on right wing, and then he put him in the middle. He has.
I remember Bruno was a 6. He's put Bruno on a 6 as well.
When he
Yeah, Bruno's a 6. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? He's tried everything. You know what it is? If you knew the way he plays and the personnel is not there, I promise you, all of us right here would understand. Be like, you know what? We gotta excuse him because he's doing the same thing, but he lost some of his important players, so he has to shoehorn players there. When you watch Ange Postecoglou yesterday against City, he had who would he have in center back? He had Davis. And he had Emerson Royale. Now you can see that Emerson Royale kept giving up the ball, but in your head you're like, you know what? If he had Van de Ven, if he had Romero, they would have been making these mistakes. The reason he's making these mistakes is because he's persisting with the style of the play that he's been implementing all season. However, some of the personnel that he has today is just not good enough to live up to it. We can't do that. We don't do that because we don't know what we're trying to do. 1 minute we have 4 in the back. 1 minute we have someone inverting in the midfield. 1 minute we have 3-1-6. 1 minute we're playing with the wingers that are holding the width, and you have McTominay playing as a 10 just to crash the box. And then 1 minute you have Bruno playing there. 1 minute you have Mount playing there. We actually don't know what we're trying to do. If we knew what we were doing, and just 1 or 2 players, whenever someone gets injured or suspended or whatever, gets shoehorned in there, and we see the drop of it just because of the personnel, we'll still respect it. But the reason none of us here is doing that, because none of us has seen a consistent style of play or something he's trying to implement that worked until he lost a few players. He's had everyone at some point, and it still isn't working. He's tried everything and everyone in different positions, and we are yet to see anything. To me, that is a sign of someone who's out of his depth and he doesn't know what you're doing. That's all.
And Staffy.
Big up to Tariq.
Oh, well, you're going to say something, Adam?
Yeah, Tariq, there's one more thing, guys. Ange makes Ten Hag look really bad when it comes to player management and media relations. And also, Halipenny says, guys, modern systems work with hard work. Name one team with a system that's not based on hard work. The 7+ years, no hard work at United. That it's not Ten Hag. That's what I'm saying. I don't say it's all on Ten Hag, but I think for me, we always focus on hard work a lot. What about quality? City players are hard working.
Thank you, Saeed.
But
Oh my God, bro.
as well, man.
You know what,
You know what I
Saeed?
mean? So-
McTominay was working hard against Newcastle. Can he beat that press? No. You know why? Because there's no quality, bro. That's the thing. Stop talking to me about players that just this fan base glorifies players that do press ups and shit in fucking training. Like they sacrificed Sancho because he was doing. Bro, he was doing Elanga. Oh, Elanga did. Bro, Elanga was a fucking athlete, bro. He looked like baby LeBron James with the physicality that was in, but he wasn't good enough. We always had players that listen. Don't get me wrong. Some of our players are lazy. I agree with that. But stop glorifying hard work when because we're talking about press ups and training, bro. I didn't need hard workers against Newcastle to beat the press. I needed some players that had the quality. Now I needed hard work from Rashford because Rashford didn't give a shit about tracking back. But you know who worked hard? Shaw worked hard. Maguire worked hard. Did we win the game? No, we didn't, because work hard isn't enough. It needs to be a balance of both. And if you're going to just rely on hard work and not question the manager for his tactics, when you're getting pressed for 90 minutes by Newcastle and you can't beat a press and you can't even play long ball because your players are not equipped enough to go long ball, then what are we even doing over here? Like, it's an absolute disgrace what's going on at this point.
What are we doing? Because hard work should be like the level 0. This is where you start from.
Baseline.
And if you don't work hard, you're in the minus.
But that shows you how bad we are, though, Adam, that we're glorifying hard work. It shows you. No, but that's also damning for the players that we're glorifying hard work because they haven't got the quality. And this is where, for me, it has to change.
We are glorifying hard work, but we are pointing out players who are not working hard, but not all of them. So that's a very, very good recipe for having a bad environment and toxicity within both a dressing room and a fan base. Because look, Marcel is catching strays, but he's not the one that's working the least. And there are other players more lazy who are just now beginning to get singled out. And what are we doing here? What are we doing?
And do you know what it is, Adam? Yeah, to even add on to what you're saying, Saeed, I want to answer your question. If Ten Hag was to be consistent from now and play people that are playing well, I think he can slowly win over the fan base, because at least you can see a direction. I know it's hard. It's a big mountain to climb.
You know
but
what,
at least there's direction.
I'll give you the best example to what you said there, Rhino. I'll give you the best example to what you just said there, Rhino. Last season, when we beat Spurs 2-0 at Old Trafford, and everyone was amazing that game, and we actually had good performances.
Bruno scored in it.
Game.
I Bruno
scored and Fred scored. Yeah. Everyone was amazing. Yeah. That season, we were doing very well in that run until the Spurs game, and that capped an amazing performance, an amazing run. We all turned on Ronaldo that day because he was selfish and he walked off the pitch. And we were like, Ronaldo, sit down. You're being benched right now, but everyone is playing good. We're playing good football. We played our best game of the season, so it's working. Okay, that's one excuse where we went against our favorites because there's a lot of Ronaldo fans out there, but even Ronaldo fans saw that performance. They were like, you know what? The manager has a plan. Yeah. Everyone is working hard. Everyone's working as a unit. So you need to find a way to fit this team rather than making everything about yourself. But when you're not getting results, when you don't see what the manager's trying to do, even as a player, if I don't see the vision, how can I believe in you? Exactly, if you ask me to make a task, Rhino, and I see there's no end to it, if you say, Staffy, drive down this road and you'll make it out, and I see a sign that says that it's a dead end, I'm like, Rhino, it says dead end. Why would I need to drive in it? And they're like, no, trust me. Bro, I don't care how many times you're going to tell me to trust you. I won't trust you because I know there's no outcome out of it.
And that's why I've given up. That's why I've given up myself.
When we're on the terrace, after a game, this is about 6-7 games ago, right? And I said to you, the results don't reflect the performances. And I said, we've been stitched up many a times with some of these results that have not come down to the way we've played. We've actually played quite well. And I remember saying to you at that point, I said, I feel like it's been, a snowball effect. Please excuse me. I haven't eaten today, guys, so... So I remember saying to you that you and Terry, I was saying, I genuinely believe that at the start of the season, the players were up for it. They were doing everything right. We created enough chances. It was that stat where the high press was actually working. We were the best in the league at the time, and we created the most chances.
We had the highest press in the first 3 games, and we had the worst conversion compared to that.
Yes, and that was it. Yeah, and that was obviously we started talking about when we should have got a striker rather than everything else. But to my point, I believe it's not just been like this from the start. I think it's been a snowball effect. And this is why I said that I believe results are more important because, respectfully, if them players go and get the results that they've got, do they go to the next game feeling more confident? And given their fact that their mentalities are shit, now we're at a stage where they can't even be asked because they've lost faith. I don't believe they've lost faith because of Ten Hag because they were doing everything right or most things right, yeah? But I think they've thrown him under the bus over time because it's a case of this ain't working. On top of that, and again, this is not avoiding Ten Hag of any issues, he's then made it worse for himself with a lot of the things that you've said regarding substitutions, regarding plays he's played, everything else. But those mistakes, in hindsight, those mistakes should be normal mistakes a manager makes. And this is why I say those mistakes look like they're worse than what they are in the overall picture. Because like I said, there are factors that we're missing out that is not just based on Ten Hag. He's done a lot right to start with. And then under pressure, I think Saeed said he's under a lot of pressure, which he is. He's now losing his head. And he's going to sack himself. Yes. But I don't think most of this heat is warranted, especially from early when you look at it objectively, that they actually were doing what they wanted him to do. They just weren't converting. And then they haven't got the mentality to maintain it. Then he's falling out with players. Then he's also obviously messing up his own systems. Then his own morals. It's going downwards and downwards and downwards. It never started like this.
Jalapeno. Yeah, go on, Adam. And then I'll read the super chat.
Yeah, just 2 things. The thing when people say the points, the results, or the performance, to me, just a false dilemma that you don't have to pick between the performance and the results. And people say, of course, results will give you performance, but when you know you haven't played well, you don't pick much confidence from that. But the other way around, if you play well, but you've been unlucky, and you know you've played well, and you've kept a good performance, and you're keeping it together, and you're not winning, you can take confidence from it. I say, you know what? It will at some point click. It will at some point unlock. And the best teams, they don't either win well, they don't either win or play well. Those 2 things usually tend to go together.
You need one at least. At least one.
Yeah, you need one.
Performance or result.
The teams that don't play well but win, they don't. The teams that don't play well and win, they don't exist. It's just that they don't play like Pep plays, but they are very organized. They are very structured. They are very compact, and they know how to defend and they know how to hit. But they are playing well. They are just playing differently. So that's one thing. And the other
100%, Adam. But you know what? Yeah, I can't again. People don't want to hear it because it's a lazy thing and it looks like it's an excuse. But it's not. It's part of the game. It's facts. We have been literally shagged by VAR and officials multiple times where we could have gone and won a game. It's put us to one side, and I know it makes you feel a type of way. That's cool, but we're talking about factors that are outside.
It happens to everyone, though. You know why?
No,
Wait.
Wait. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that's disingenuous.
Hold on.
It's not disingenuous, Oliver. It's factual. It's factual.
Because
we agree that's factual.
Let me land the point.
You can't say that's disingenuous, though.
Yeah.
Okay, but we need to argue if that's disingenuous or not. It's factual. Everybody gets decisions.
Let me give you the reason why, and then you can argue whether that reason sits or not. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The reason I say it's disingenuous is because, again, we all saw the stats that came out that we were on -4 based on decisions that went against us. You looked at the VAR against Arsenal. You look at the Tottenham situation that keeps coming up. You look at the offside goals that have been going in against us and for us that have not been called for us. All those decisions would have given us a positive result. What does results lead to? A different outlook. Because even if you play poor, you walk away going, you know what? We got 3 points.
I tell you what that's wrong.
You know what, Neji?
I tell you what that's wrong. I want to say that. Can I go back to it? Shall I tell you what that's absolutely false here, where results can turn you into Sheffield United 1-0, Fulham 1-0. Why do we still say the same shit feeling right now? Because you know why? The results have not been sustainable for Manchester United. On the long term, we need to think about performances. You talk about the grand scheme of things, and you talk about what should we talk about surface level. That is surface level thinking right there.
How is it explain why it's surface?
Little result. Because you're saying to yourself, them little short-term results, it could have been a better outlook for Man United. Yes or no?
It's surface level because it's
okay. So I'll explain why it's not surface level, because we're talking about results, right? And I'm talking about factors that go into results. So we're at the moment, all I'm hearing is based on the system. That's it. I'm talking about each individual game that we've had. I even had to bring it back to the start of the season when you might have been confused. Like I said,
you're doing something that you can't control. You're talking about things that you can't control.
No, but this is what I'm trying to say.
Ten Hag can't control. Style of play you can't control.
Hear me out. Right. The consensus at the moment is Ten Hag's the problem, right? That's the consensus.
No,
yes or no? Yes or no?
He's a problem.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll
rephrase a problem.
So he's a problem, but he's more of a problem to the stage where we're saying Ten Hag out because this is it, right? So he must be the biggest problem. If it's Ten Hag out, it must respectfully. I'm going off what you man is saying, what you're showing.
You're not going off what I said. You're not going off what I said.
No. Okay,
no,
tell you what I'm going off. If you make a statement of Ten Hag out and time's done, you are ultimately, whether you're saying it literally or not, you are emphasizing that there is more of an issue with the manager than other things. Correct?
No. I don't get.
To a degree. To a degree, but
I'll go mute. Educate me. If he's not going to be, if he's not the main reason,
you go first, Adam.
As to where we should be going, why are we Ten Hag out? Because that to me, that's finite. That's extreme. That's like he's done. That's it.
Okay.
So what gets you to that? What other factors then? If that's not the case, I'll ask the question. What other factors are bigger than Ten Hag?
You've just said it, Major. You said for you that's the most extreme, but that's for you.
No, it's a fact. If you lose your job, that means you're finished. That's not extreme. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah. That's what you mean.
That's what you mean.
You're finished if you lose your job.
That means you're saying it for a reason.
The fact that people are saying that they want the manager out doesn't mean that the manager is the biggest problem.
Yeah, basically.
So explain to me then. If he's not the biggest problem, why are we out? That's what I need to know.
I see where Neji's trying to go with it. I see it, but
at the end of the day,
homeboy don't help himself.
That's a genuine question. I need a genuine answer, please.
At the end of the day,
I'm confused.
We are all in agreement that the manager
sounds gone.
When it first started, can you hear me?
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
go on track.
Keep going. Yeah.
When this stream first started, the first thing I said was he needs to go and these players need to go. And at this present moment in time, he is the only one realistically that can go at this present moment in time. Yeah, I don't think he's good enough to manage to manage this club because of the things that not even the things that I've seen on the field. Like I said, Neji, I agree with certain things, but the things that I've seen off the pitch, he's not good enough. He's not good enough to manage this.
That's
club.
fair.
He's not good enough to manage this club. So at this present moment in time, they all need to go. Yeah, but right now the manager needs to go. There needs to be a fair assessment of these players. So don't want to say fair because some of us see body language. Some of us see we know what the fuck is actually going on in your head. Do you want to play for this club or not? Yeah. And what are you going to do about it? Because this ain't good enough. That ain't good enough. Hold these players accountable for what's going on. Do you understand? So
yeah,
at the end of the day, I know this guy will not as well. I don't know, but in my mind,
that's what you feel and believe. Yeah, that's fair.
In my mind, I don't think he'll ever turn this around based on what I've seen in terms of the recruitment, the players that he's wanted, to go and do. I'm not going to say the money, the players that he's wanted, the way he's gone about getting them players. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, with the Kim Min Jae thing, I said to you, that's cool, but he made it clear that Mason Mount was his number one priority. And at the end of the day, we've gone for. Remember when I was having that debate, and I said, why has he gone from a defender to a midfielder? You said midfielder was priority, and you only got that off of him. So that tells me again, he's not looking at what Man United want. He's looking at what he wants.
So for you then, chaps, just so I'm correct me if I'm wrong as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, go on, do the super chat.
Jalapeno says no Staffy, NC, Arsenal, Spurs, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Aston Villa, all 11 players working hard, guys. We have 6 or 7 working hard per game. Problem and knowledge says I hate when fans say working hard.
I just want to reply to on the side. That's factually not true. Every team has players that work harder than another. But you want to sit there and name all these teams and say they have more hardworking players than us. How about you mention that all of them have better quality players than us? And some of these players have been brought in by their managers. Okay,
Staffy, the hard work part. Yeah, there's a baseline. Like for example, at Liverpool, like at Liverpool, Milner was top for everything. Like he was a machine. But he wasn't the most talented. However, there is a baseline of fitness. So if you don't reach the baseline, so you can get into the first 11, you shouldn't be here. These players.
Well, we were hard working last season, Neji, with these same players. And then he bought in players, and we looked worse. Now we don't have the quality, and we don't have the hard work.
Oh, you thought we sorry, just to correct me, sorry if I'm wrong. You thought we didn't look good in the first season?
No, I'm saying they did work hard last season.
Yeah.
But then most of these players are still here. He added to them. And now the ones that came in and the ones that were here last season are no longer working hard. So now that when no one is working hard, you're looking at least for moments of quality, and you're looking around like who has quality. We're sitting here glorifying moments for Kobe Mainoo, who's 18. Yeah, because we're looking at him, we're like, you know what? Did you see that pass he made? Did you see how he dropped the shoulder? That's the level we went down to. He didn't need to work hard to do that. He needed quality. So I need both.
By the way, both, 100%. Big up to knowledge. I hate when fans point out all the teams working hard without context. All these teams, Jalapeno State, have a system that's drilled into them daily. We don't have one. It's individual brilliance. And also, big up to jamming with tech. Big up to Eagles. Poch has been at Chelsea for 5 months, and it's a style of play already. No matter how bad the players are, you can teach the players. If McTominay went to Brighton, he wouldn't fit in. He would. I'm not sure, man. McTominay is a lost cause, man.
No, come
on.
You know what, Saeed? I think
he would get exposed.
I think if Ten Hag went to Brighton, they would look very good. It's just not working at us, to be honest. And there are many reasons, and this is why I agree with everybody. Plus, not what Neji said. I think Ten Hag is in a situation in which he's a very disciplinarian guy, very strict, authoritarian in his way. But there are some things that are being put to him by the club, and he needs to deal with those.
Yeah, Adam, let me even get you right there. That's what I was going to ask. This is the next question I was going to ask. Yeah, because how can stress stop you from dropping McTominay? There must be something else. What do you think it is? How can you be so stressed that you're scared to drop McTominay? That's what doesn't make sense to me. What do you think it is? What do you think it is, Adam or Neji? What do you think?
He saw him bail him out a couple times with a couple late goals, and he was like, you know what? Let me try my luck again, bro. That's not how football works, bro.
Exactly.
You can ride your luck 1, 2, 3 times max, but you got to rely on consistency at the end. And when McTominay is not bailing you out with last-minute headers, then he's useless for 90 minutes.
He was open to McTominay leaving, and he told Amrabat to wait the entire summer. And now we start the last few games. We've started Amrabat on the bench and McTominay starting.
I think that's the issue as well, boys. You think about it, yeah. Like McTominay's bad goals, even at international, he's been consistent. So you can give him the credit there. But it's like what you said, he's bad goals. He's been an impactful player off the bench, and he's bad goals for us. That's what you do in the last 10 minutes. McTominay's when you bring off the last 10 minutes when he's got that form and go and get me a goal, cool, safe, or be a nuisance up top. The fact that he's starting him in the 6th position, to me, is woeful. Those are things there I cannot stand by, and I will not stand by.
That's shocking. It's shocking.
Big up for 78.
It doesn't make
78K
sense to me.
subs,
Just because he
guys.
bags
By the
goals
way.
doesn't mean
big
he's
up.
starting
Yeah,
to possession
man.
his shit.
Yeah,
out.
guys,
Big up,
big up for that. Yeah, I see
up,
it.
big
Said
up.
reaching milestone.
Yeah,
Congrats,
man.
Said.
Yes,
Big up to
lads.
everyone.
Big
Let's
up,
go.
man. I appreciate, man. There's also 532 likes. Let's get up to at least 700. 1.1k in here. Make sure you follow everyone's channels as well. But someone asked me a super chat here. Who
Steffi's a local,
who
innit?
can replace?
She's normally in, man.
Hey?
Steffi,
Huh?
she's normally in the shows all the time, man, in the comments and that.
Who?
That's
Definitely,
Steffi
I think
Griffiths.
she's here, man.
I've
Yeah,
seen
she
her a
went
couple
on
times.
Monday, I
Yeah,
think.
even on Monday. Yeah,
Yeah,
Rachel's
she's
to her,
there.
man.
She's there.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
big
I
up.
thought you said
Big up
Always
Steph,
Staffy.
there,
I was
man.
like, yeah. I thought you said Staffy. I was like, I'm not a local.
Oh no, sorry, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Well, he
I was
will
like,
be
I
a
didn't
local. He will be a local. He's going to the game on Wednesday, so stuff is
I was
coming
gonna
down.
go to the game
Let's
as well, but I changed my mind, man. I
Come
can't.
down, man. You know what I
Right,
mean?
no, come down, man, for the vibes, man.
Hey, Steffi, you're
I
brave,
might.
Was that
Staffy's
Chaps?
coming down, man.
You think I'm coming outside for Manchester United? What do you mean?
Bro, listen.
You think I'm coming outside for Manchester
You
United?
can't complain. You can't
You know,
complain.
it's
I
the
might go
first
for the
game.
man them. I'll
First
go for
game.
the man them
Listen,
still.
I'd rather go. Listen, if I'd
It's our
rather
first
go.
game's Luton, you know.
I'd rather go to Manchester for the Christmas market rather than go and watch.
Yeah,
True,
that costs a lot as well. Yeah, we've not played at Old Trafford since 11th of November, man. It's been a while, you know, man. Obviously, in that kind. Someone asked a question here. What panel can you name a manager who would take over Ten Hag? Would you want an interim, yeah, if it happened, interim, or would you want a straight manager to come in, or would it be interim?
Can I go first? Can I go first?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't think anyone here would trust this board and this this ownership to hire another manager. Okay?
Ineos.
Yeah. So here's what we and I've been saying this since I decided I'm done with Ten Hag. If what's it called, Ratcliffe comes in with his 25% and he hires the new director of football, as we've been told, I would rather give them respectfully, because they want to take over the football and decisions anyways. I would give them that right to hire a new manager, and that should be the correct way. If you're going to get a new owner in who's eventually going to take over in a few years and he is going to run the football, there's no way you're going to just hire him a new manager and then a month or two later, hey, by the way, your 25% got accepted. No, that shouldn't work at all. If Ten Hag would to leave, which I think I think would be the right thing, you get an interim. I don't care who. I don't care who the guy's from, what correlation he has with the club, whatever it is. An interim comes in. Because at this point, I'm sorry, that's you acknowledging that the season's over. So you're wrapping up the season early. You wrap up the season, you bring an interim, and when the new ownership comes in with the new director of football, and they talk with the footballing people, and they make discussions, okay, who are we going to sign in the summer? And based on who we hire, what kind of players are we going to keep? And then you have about 6 months to prepare for that. I think you even that's what I wanted the whole time, because I want us to start to get ready for next season early. Because this season, to me, I think all of us admit that this season is over and we're already in December. So might as well prepare early.
Yeah, 100%. There's a super chat here, and obviously there's a comment here saying Man United and Ineos are penciled in next week to confirm Sir Jim Ratcliffe's stake in the club. It's always next week, innit? So we have to take that with a pinch of salt. And the super chat comes from here. Knowledge. There's no system without hard work. I think he's going at knowledge here. That's the basic. We carry too many players. Ten Hag just joined. We never had a recognizable system except during LVG. Common denominator, players. Well, if you look at it, LVG was playing with a load of youngsters, man, and he still managed to get a system out of these players. So it's not. It just shows you that two things can be right as well. You know, and they never revolting. It just shows you also as well, yeah, that players always buy into a system as well. I don't think. I do also believe that Mourinho, Ten Hag, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ten Hag have also been bad managers as well. You know, LVG was our last manager that had a plan that every single player, no matter whether young or old, that bought into the system. That's why we sacked LVG too soon. I'm not gonna lie to you, that day I was quite sad he left. Obviously, I was happy that we got Mourinho, but I was also like, oh man, just after FA Cup, man, that's bad, man. Yeah, because I knew what he was trying to build, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes you fall in with
He's
the plan.
the only manager really that committed to a rebuild when you really think of it, even though his football was boring. But when you really think of it, he's the only one that committed to a rebuild no matter what. He got rid of Robin Van Persie a year after he managed him in the World Cup. If you remember that, he was his captain in the World Cup, and then a year later he sold him. He's actually the only one that got rid of so many old players and started giving youngsters a chance. He brought in Memphis Depay, who was a prospect at the time. He gave Rashford his debut, Tyler Blackett, Paddy McNair.
That's a mistake, though. That is something I will never forget. But the thing is, people.
Yeah.
What won't you forget?
Giving Rashford his debut.
Oh, to be fair, we all were against it when he bagged 4 goals in 2 games.
I
No. It's just that we've put him to another level, man. That's the problem. That we've raised him to another level.
I see the other day. I see.
Hold on. Just the thing with Van Gaal.
Yeah, go on.
People complain that the football was boring, but I think boring football is good football without the quality. It's always the case that when you have boring football, it means you're having your environment set up, but you just need the quality to make it exciting, because you create the right environment. And if you replace a dead player by a good player, then you get that good creativity. But if you have boring football, that means something's working. And this is why the managers like Sean Dyche, and not very exciting, but they know what they're doing. And Van Gaal was the same. And people think that Pep is boring the way Man City play. But they are very good, and they have.
We pulled the trigger too quick on Louis van Gaal. I'll tell you that. It took me years to realize that.
I think the issue is though, boys, and again, like it or not, not being personal, but just from an observation, we as a fan base, and I say we, including myself, and I've observed this myself, we have been privileged of having the best club and best team ever. And with that privilege comes a level of expectation of winning, and an expectation of entertainment and football. Excuse me. Both of those 3 things, my thumbs up, by the way, there you go. 3 things. Thought it was a little Shrek moment there. Where it's like, yeah, number 3, my lord. Waste man. Anyway, don't know if that's about. I don't know if you remember that little part. But anyhow, my point is this.
Number 3, my lord.
Yeah, that's it. That's mad, wasn't it? Mad. But yeah, my point is this. Because we're so used to that, it's part of our DNA. So we can't only just have results. We can't just only have Van Gaal winning 1-0. We have to be entertained. When you come to United, I want to be entertained. That's been our history before Fergie, right? So when a manager comes into this, we as a fan base have to make a choice. Are we going to maintain those standards, which is okay if you want it, but then realize how hard that is going to be to replace? Or is it a case of the manager? This is any manager, by the way, right? And if it's a case he's got to do it his way, then we automatically have to put those standards to one side, not ignore them, put them to one side and go, in order to rebuild that, we have to go through the same process. We're not getting through no process. So if we're not patient enough to go through those processes with any manager, if they get results, but they ain't got good football. If they got good football, but they ain't getting results.
Yeah,
if we want all through, what manager can we really bring in that's going to bring that and also do it under no footballing structure? I just think we're setting ourselves up for failure and have these expectations. And sometimes I think we need to check ourselves and go, we really aren't that club no more.
I think this set of players.
That's me personally.
I think this set of players is just rotten. I think they're uncoachable. Yeah. Because honestly, within 6 months, if we had a different set of players, Ragnick would have done something. Because if Ragnick, who basically invented running, couldn't get these guys to run, there's nothing to be done with this bunch of players.
Can't do that. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
No, so Neji, I want to ask you quickly, yeah. Oh, yeah, go on, Staffy. Go on. I want to ask. I was going to
say that's why, Adam, when you say that's why we said earlier, 2 things can be true at the same time. I don't think any of us here are saying change the manager and we're all of a sudden we're gonna start winning. You might have a manager bounce, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't take you anywhere. We're not all of a sudden gonna be talking about top 4 and competing for the league. And are we good enough to compete for the league next year? And oh my God, Rashford is back. That's not what we're saying. We think a lot of players need replacing, but the manager has also led himself to a point right now where we're looking at what he's done with the players that he's signed and the players that are here, and we're like, you know what? You look like you don't know what you're doing because none of the players look good. It's impossible for a manager to make I don't know how big our squad is. Let's just say we have 26, 27 players. It's impossible to have 26, 27 players all look bad. That's the point that we reach right now. No one comes in and changes anything, and no one getting benched changes anything. And I promise you, by the way, the minute Rashford's going to get benched, we're going to be like, oh, finally, thank God. And then we're still going to lose. Don't get me wrong. But we just want it to be done because it's the right thing.
Exactly. Because if you ask any United fan and you ask them new manager or new owners, they'll pick new owners. New manager or new set of players will all pick a new set of players and we'll keep the manager. The manager is the least of those 3 that in order I would remove the owners, the players, then the manager.
Yeah,
yeah. But the manager.
That's good.
at the moment, the manager also needs to go because he's not consistent. He's actually putting more and more favoritism than ever seen. It's ridiculous. He's punishing some players, rewarding other players, and in a very, very inconsistent manner. There's absolutely no logic to what he's doing. I'm seeing Regulon, that we signed on deadline day on the bench, and I'm having
And Dano's left back.
Lindelof.
Yes, nuts.
Top of Lindelof.
No, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. Last couple of super chats before we wrap up, man. It's been a good show, man. Jalapeno, what would you consider hard work in this team in Headless Chicken FC? I don't want that. We don't have a system who's replaceable for recreating and maintaining one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hard work isn't just it, man.
It's baloney.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Hard work isn't just it. When you see Martial at halftime or whatever, talking back to Ten Hag, if you guys remember last game, because he was asking him to press, and he doesn't want to press because there's no pressing system. I see Bruno chasing the ball around like a headless chicken. He runs. You know when you throw the ball to your dog and he just runs, gets it back. It just there's no direction in it. So hard work on its own is not the thing to me. I don't want one or two players to press. I want a pressing system where if you're gonna ask one player to press, he knows. Listen, if I'm Martial right now, if I track down this defender right now and I try to close him up, I want to look to my right of me and I see Rashford is going to the left back, and I want to go to my left and I see Garnacho's going to the right back, and my two midfielders behind me are pressing the options behind me. But when you don't have everyone who's doing the same thing and it's not in sync, it's not at this point. It's not hard work. It is tactics, and it's hard to get players on board when the tactics are fragile and they're making everyone look bad. So hard work. I'm sorry, against Jalapeno, hard work isn't enough.
Another way you could see that these players are not responding well to trainings and tactics, and they are not pressing as a team, is that we are picking up many muscular injuries. Because if the team knew how to press and when to press collectively, it would become conditioned, so they wouldn't have to think.
That Newcastle team played against PSG during the week, and they have no options on the bench, and they ran like absolute animals against us for about 75 or 80 minutes. They only stopped pressing against us in the last 10 minutes, and these are the same players. They only made a change in the 92nd minute. That team played 2 consecutive games, and they looked further than us. And we had the bigger.
This is the thing when you have a level of desire, when you have
the thing. I was agreeing with you. Exactly what I'm trying to say. The players we have, even if they run, they don't know how to run. They don't know when to run. They don't know. They don't know. So there is like a little tiny delay between what they think and what they do. And when you have that when they are not that in sync, this is where you pick up muscular injuries. When you have to think and then your body's already in move, and this is where you pick up the injury. It's not automatic, because there are 2 ways you react to a team. There are 2 ways to react when the team is pressing. It's either they never, ever get injured, and then you start accusing them of doping, or everyone gets injured.
Yes, that's super chat here. No knowledge. Look at Arsenal, City, and Arsenal. Look at the top players working out. Not like Rashford, Martial playing laissez-faire style. Laissez-faire football. Big up to 349. Scotty says, "You man can't still figure out why a guy managing Go Eagles isn't a good manager. The delusion is crazy." Who's Go Eagles?
Go ahead, Eagles. Go ahead, Eagles.
The club that I think Ten Hag was at before.
Yeah, that's what he's at. That's what he's at before Ajax. No,
it doesn't matter, bro. No, listen, Ange Postecoglou was coaching in Australia, bro. Ange Postecoglou was in Australia, and he came in and
okay. Yeah. Fair enough. And go Jalapeno, that's cap. That's all press as a team. That's not working hard. Big difference. Some players are better runners than others, yet they are all on the same page because of how Pep drills them. Listen, man, people, we're gonna wrap it up here. Make sure you like the video. It's been a good show. You know what, man? It's been a very, very good show, man. Lots of debates. Like I said to you, man, we out here, man. We had to bring you this this topical debate and whatnot as things were reaching out. I thought, why not? Big up the man, them traps. Big up to you, man, for rolling in, man. You get me? Like maybe part 2 on Thursday, man. Who knows?
Always a pleasure.
You get me? Big up, man. Adam. Big up to you, man. We might not see you again for another month or so. So big up to you, Adam. Love for coming on, Adam, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Always a pleasure. Big up everyone. That's the end of the semester, man. It's a bit peak. Well, I'll try to come on. I'll try. But thank you, everyone. Pleasure as always.
Yeah. Absolutely. Rhino, big up to you, man, for coming on, man. Love, bro.
Yeah, man. Always a pleasure, my bro, man. And big up the chat as well. Make sure you are liking the video. Big up on the 78k subs as well. Big up the Mandem as always.
Oh, big up, man. Big up everyone, man.
Adam,
Trust me.
Traps, everyone. Come on, man. It's all love, man.
Come
Come on, man. Staffy, I think you're live after this, so people, make sure you tune into Staffy TV. Love for coming on, man.
Yeah, the content don't end, guys. These guys are gonna go to sleep, but listen, it's still 8 o'clock where I'm at, so they might catch in the morning if they want. But for all the people that are watching us from the US or whatever time zone you're in and you're still up, tune in right now. We're going on live for American Waffle. We're gonna waffle about a little bit more teams than just this. Big up knowledge for all the super chats. Obviously, you sent to site.
Yeah, man. Knowledge and Jalapeno and all the other guys. Yeah, man. Big up to you, Knowledge, man. Always.
And big up Said for having me. And as you said, I'm going live, so make sure you guys, if you want, you check me out. And big up to all the Mendem here, make sure you subscribe to all of them and all their channels and all that stuff.
Yeah, man. Big up. And AG, always love my guy, man. Always love.
You already know, King, man. Obviously, it was great. Heavyweight footballer has to arrive sometimes. You know what I mean? It's all there, man. But listen, shout out to the panel, Traps, of course, Adam, Staffy, Rhino, Saeed, yourself, bro. Big up on the 78k. The super chatters, especially, and the loyal ones that are always tuning into Saeed's hard work, man. Do you know what I mean? I know Rhino's got his channel. Adam, I don't know if Traps has got. I know Traps is doing his thing on Insta and TikTok.
Oh, someone called him, man.
I think he got a phone call,
someone had a phone call. Yeah, normally.
Listen, but W to the super chatters. That's what he meant to say. W.
Yeah. W, man. W to everyone, man. I'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. People. I'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. for the Best of the Rest show. Make sure you tune into that one. I will see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Cheers.